Please welcome, friends, the next Premier of Queensland, Annastacia Palaszczuk.
My friends, my fellow Queenslanders, thank you so much for that lovely warm welcome. I'm proud to have Bill here today, and I thank him for the visits he's made in recent weeks to support Labor candidates right across our state. Thank you all for being here today. I know you came because you care deeply about the future of our great state and about the millions of Queenslanders who have been hurt so badly by this LNP government. You came because you share Labor's vision for Queensland, a better, fairer Queensland, a place where the government works with Queenslanders, not against them, where we work together as one. In short, you came because you know there is a better way for Queensland. Friends, I want to start the story today going back nearly 3 years ago. The 24th of March 2012 was a day we'd all prefer to forget. But my friends, it was a day that tested us all here and everyone beyond who believes in the Labor cause and in our Labor values. The values I grew up with and share with each and every one of you. We could have crawled into the corner to lick our wounds for 3 years, but we didn't. We got up off the mat, we got back into the contest, and we gave our all for the state we love and for the people of Queensland who need and deserve a contest of ideas about their future. That's what makes me proud of everyone here today. And it makes me so proud to lead the great party in the state where it was born. It has been sheer hard work that has brought us back into the contention for this election, that has put the wind at our backs. And it is even more hard work that is going to sweep us forward to election day. Friends, I want to talk about why this Newman LNP government is the wrong answer for Queensland and why Labor is the better way. Unfortunately, I have to talk a little about broken promises, arrogance, division and mismanagement. Yes, I have to talk about Campbell Newman and just a few of the reasons not to vote LNP. First, there are the broken promises. Campbell Newman said he had a plan to cut unemployment to 4% and cut debt, all without the need for asset sales. Let's just check how he's going on that one. Our jobless rate is the highest for 11 years. There are almost 31,000 more Queenslanders without a job since March 2012. Youth unemployment around this state is skyrocketing. In some parts of Queensland, it's near 20%. Debt is up, and the LNP's only answer is a fire sale of our state assets. A sale so risky that even the Premier's not sure if he can sell the assets or even get the right price. Campbell Newman said he'd cut waste. Instead, he's cut frontline services in health and education. And he promised government workers that they had nothing to fear, and he broke that promise. Not once, not twice, but 24,000 times. And those 24,000 job cuts include 4,800 in our hospital and health system, and such as 1,800 nursing and midwife jobs that have also disappeared. The second reason not to vote LNP is twisted priorities. Campbell Newman is spending $2.6 billion on a project to give himself a new executive building in the Brisbane CBD, while 240,000 Queenslanders are on the waiting list for the waiting list. That's something the endless taxpayer-funded TV ads never say. Those ads and many others like them are proof of themselves of twisted priorities. A third reason is the LNP's asset sales plan, which we know will cause job losses at a time unemployment is worse than during the GFC. Higher power bills when families' budgets are hurting, and a huge and permanent budget black hole the LNP still won't tell us how it will fill. Labor learned our lesson on asset sales. We learnt it the very hard way. Unlike the LNP, we've listened to Queenslanders and we respect the voice of voters. And because of that, I can sum up the difference between the LNP and Labor in 6 simple words. Labor will not sell your assets. Just as important, Labor will not punch a permanent $2 billion a year black hole in our state budget. Friends, a fourth reason is that Queenslanders know better than any other Australians how important accountability and integrity is in government. Most Queenslanders never thought that 25 years after the Fitzgerald inquiry and the reforms put in place by Wayne Goss, that we'd be talking about a government that has weakened the fight against corruption. But 25 years is how far backward the LNP has taken us in less than 3. Campbell Newman needs to understand that Queenslanders are not fools. We have seen the LNP use its massive majority to change the laws so it can receive huge donations from secret donors. We see a massively cashed up LNP raising tens of millions of dollars in secret. We have seen the LNP throw open the door again to those carrying brown paper bags. We also see the undermining of the state's anti-corruption watchdog and the trashing of Fitzgerald recommendations. In short, we've all seen this horror movie before, and we all know how it ends too, especially if this kind of arrogant behaviour is rewarded with re-election. A fifth and final reason not to vote LNP is its blatant arrogance, a direct result of a massive majority. We have had enough of the cockiness, the bullying, and the plain nastiness of the last 3 years. This is a government that expects to just cruise back into office on January 31. This is an arrogant Premier who thinks his huge majority means he doesn't need to listen to anyone and that he always knows best. And ministers like his arrogant and incompetent Attorney-General Jarrod Bleij. Arrogance is what drove Jarrod Bleij to attack for no good reason the workers' compensation scheme set up by a Labor government 100 years ago. Once again, the LNP used its big majority to force through changes that tipped the scales in favour of negligent employers and against injured workers. Let nobody forget that on polling day. And then there is the nasty side, attacking nurses, doctors, lawyers, fireys, ambulance officers, government workers, anyone who disagrees with him. Just imagine how much more arrogant the LNP and Campbell Newman will be if they are re-elected on January 31. A vote for the LNP and Campbell Newman is a vote for more of the same. The broken promises, the wrong priorities, the asset sales, and the weakening of the fight against corruption. I guarantee you that is how Campbell Newman will interpret an election victory, as a green light to repeat the past 3 years. Friends, let's not forget Tony Abbott, although Campbell Newman hopes you will. Before the last federal election, it was Campbell Newman who was telling Tony Abbott he should do what the LNP had done here in Queensland. An LNP win here will give him the signal to press on with his agenda: vicious budget cuts, raising the GST, and slowly and slyly chopping away at the great Labor institution Medicare. Like me, I'm sure you've noticed Tony Abbott is missing in action in this campaign. But really, is it Campbell Newman who doesn't want to be seen with Tony Abbott, or is it the other way around? Friends, January the 31st is the chance to pass judgment on the Newman LNP government and its record, to make sure the arrogance and promise breaking is cut out of Queensland politics and put behind us for good. But you don't just want to hear what's wrong with Campbell Newman and the LNP. What I've heard most clearly in the past 3 years is Queenslanders wanting hope instead of blame, ideas instead of slogans, and vision, not division. Labor's better way for Queensland starts where it must, with jobs. There is dignity in work. Unlike the LNP, we want Queenslanders to have secure jobs with fair pay packets and conditions. We believe government should do all they can to work with business to help create secure jobs, training for those seeking work or changing jobs, and new jobs for future generations. That's why we have put such a strong focus on jobs in the policies we have developed and announced so far. Our Business Development Fund to turn bright ideas into new products and jobs. Extra funds and greater certainty for our tourism industry through our Growth for Tourism guarantee. Jobs Queensland, a group of those involved directly in industry to advise on the skills that our state now needs and into the future. Our Ready for Work policy to help young people prepare themselves to enter the job market. A payroll tax rebate for employers taking on apprentices and trainees. We all know the great potential of our state and our people. Every Queenslander has a simple measure of how well our state is doing, and it comes down to whether they have a secure job and whether their children have secure jobs. Labor's focus has been, is now, and always will be on jobs. Today, I'm proud to unveil you more initiatives to create jobs. Our Working Queensland Jobs Plan encompasses the policies I have already released and new ones I will outline here. I have just detailed some of those, but in addition, Labor will reinstate the successful jobs training schemes scrapped by the LNP. The former Skilling Queenslanders for Work programs were approved by independent consultants to not only get people into jobs, but also to return almost $8 into the community for every $1 it costs to run. Labor will earmark $240 million over 4 years to fund industry and community-based organisations to once again deliver training schemes to an estimated 32,000 people, Indigenous Queenslanders, mature-age Queenslanders and others willing and wanting to work. We will ensure that not only are 10% of workers on major projects apprentices and trainees, but we will extend that requirement to government-owned corporations. The commitment to train young Queenslanders cannot be matched by the LNP because they will sell those very same government businesses. Labor will implement a Locals First program to support local contractors and suppliers. We will also be legislating against 100% fly-in, fly-out projects to create more jobs for Queenslanders living in regional communities. Labor's Work in Queensland plan will also provide $50 million over 3 years to implement our Advanced Queensland program. In June last year, I launched our Advanced Queensland discussion paper to reinvigorate research and development and harness ideas to create the secure, knowledge-based jobs for the future. Based on feedback and ideas we receive, I can announce that our Advanced Queensland policy will provide the following: 100 Advanced Queensland Research Fellowships to foster research on projects such as protecting our Great Barrier Reef and stimulate new industries such as industrial biotechnology and advances in medical research. A 3-year payroll tax holiday for new companies coming to Queensland as a result of Advanced Queensland research programs. Advanced Queensland will offer 20 university scholarships to postgraduate students each year to encourage women, Indigenous students and those from low socio-economic areas to pursue a master's degree in specific fields of study. And the Advanced Queensland Women's Academic Fund to support female researchers to help them advance their careers. These initiatives and others will not just create jobs for current industries, but jobs for the future in new and emerging industries. Friends, Labor also recognises the need to support skills training. And we will rescue our TAFE system. We will rescue our TAFE system that has been torn apart by the LNP, which cut courses and implemented massive fee increases. We will restore TAFE as the leading provider of vocational education and training in this state. Put simply, TAFE Queensland will not survive another term of this LNP government. To rescue TAFE, a Labor government will invest $34 million over the next 3 years. We will create up to 100 TAFE teaching and support positions. We will fund new training schemes in emerging industries, invest in student support services and subsidise foundation skill courses for disadvantaged learners. We will also scrap the LNP's approach that has taken TAFE out of young people's reach. TAFE is essential if young Queenslanders are to have a viable career alternative. Labor views TAFE as a provider of well-trained workers for our future, while the LNP sees it as yet another asset to strip bare and sell off. Queensland is a huge state. It's got a decentralised population and regions which have unique needs and demands. Labor in government knows that wherever Queenslanders live, their local infrastructure must meet their needs and help boost local economies. We will replace the current Royalties for Regions grants program with better targeted funds to ensure all regions get their fair share. Under Labor's Building Our Regions policy, We will double the annual transport infrastructure development scheme for the Roads and Transport Alliance to $60 million. We will establish a $35 million a year regional capital fund for projects in provincial cities and surrounding areas. We will establish a $27.5 million a year royalties for resource producing communities fund for projects in mining communities. And we will establish a $7.5 million fund for infrastructure in remote communities. The necessary funding of up to $390 million, including $200 million in new funds over 3 years, will not rely on asset sales. When we talk about assets, we should remember that Queensland is home to one of the world's greatest natural assets, the Great Barrier Reef. Our reef is one of the natural wonders that we share with the world. Labor will ensure the world continues to enjoy its magnificent attractions while Queenslanders continue to receive the benefits of the 60,000 jobs it supports and the $6 billion it injects into the Queensland economy. Our reef is facing major threats: poor water quality, coastal management development, climate change, and the damage from the crown of thorns. We have a responsibility to the world and to the future generations to protect our Great Barrier Reef. Labor has already announced the banning of dumping of capital dredge spoil within the Great Barrier Reef World Heritage Area. We have also unveiled $100 million 5-year policy package to improve water quality and create jobs. To those initiatives, I want to add today our plans to reintroduce Labor's nation-leading tree clearing laws. Reinstating world-class coastal planning laws axed by the Newman government. And repealing the LNP's water laws, which will have a detrimental effect on reef catchment systems and allow for over-allocation of Queensland's precious water resources. We will also work with the federal government and the International Maritime Organisation to develop a new vessel class which will ensure bulk good carriers meet stringent safety codes. Labor will not support the financially risky plans by the LNP for taxpayers to fund a private company's dredging operations at Abbott Point even before its planned mine has proved to be commercially viable. Nor will we support the use of taxpayers' funds to support a new rail line. In developing the export LNG industry, Labor made sure private companies carried such costs, not Queensland taxpayers. And that remains our approach. We will not dump dredge spoil on the Qld Valley wetlands. And we will ensure any expansion of port capacity occurs within existing ports. Labor knows the real value of the Great Barrier Reef cannot be measured. That's why I want to lead the government that puts the future of our reef beyond any doubt. Friends, Labor recognises the diverse needs of Queenslanders, including ageing Queenslanders. To address this, Labor will appoint a Cabinet Minister whose specific responsibilities will include seniors. The Minister for Seniors will be responsible for ensuring government policies and programs meet the needs of seniors and that they have access to information and other resources to fully inform them of those services. Labor will also provide $20 million in grants to services that provide respite care for people with dementia. Organisations receiving funds will need to demonstrate their ability to deliver programs tailored to the needs of individuals and also be able to offer care beyond the standard workday. By doing this, Labor will support services for our seniors and treat them with the dignity and respect they deserve. Friends, these new policies, the commitments I have announced since 2012 and several more I will outline before polling day, all represent Labor's commitment to Queensland's future. They're fully funded and fully costed. They are modest and affordable and can be delivered with no new taxes. Queenslanders have had too many broken promises over the last 3 years. These are promises Queenslanders can see and feel and know they are affordable and sustainable and will make a difference. Labor's sensible, moderate approach is based on paying off debt without the fire sale of assets and the permanent loss of their $2 billion a year revenue streams. Labor's debt action plan proves there is an alternative to the irresponsible and financially incompetent LNP alternative. I recognise, friends, that for many Queenslanders, this might be the first time in nearly 3 years you've been prepared to listen to an argument to vote Labor again. And I get that. As I stand here today, I want to leave you with 3 messages. First, Labor heard the message and we have learnt the lessons. But second, we didn't lie down. We knew we wouldn't be respected if we did. It wasn't easy. 7 members against 78, and now 9 against 73. But we got on with the job you expected from us. We have held this government to account. We have listened. We have developed good policies. And you all helped us with that work, giving us ideas through regional visits, through town hall meetings, through shadow cabinet meetings, and in talking with communities and interest groups right across our great state. As I've said before, at times Labor may be down, but we are never out. And finally, we're not just asking you to vote against a government that is arrogant, out of touch, and expecting to cruise to an easy victory. We're asking you to look at our policies, the modest commitments we have made, and our plan to pay down debt in a steady, measured way. The next government will be formed by either the LNP or Labor, and I will not be doing deals with independents or minor parties. So there is a clear choice to make on January 31. It's more of the same from the LNP or the better way offered by Labor. In the end, this Newman government isn't what Queenslanders thought they were electing. It certainly isn't what they promised, and it's certainly not what they deserved. January 31 is your chance to give Campbell Newman and his ministers a lesson in listening, a lesson in humility, dignity and grace. The best way to do that is to vote for the better way Labor is offering. As you all know, we are the ones with the mountain to climb. This is a David and Goliath battle, and I'm fine with that. The real point is, it's a battle. It's a battle of ideas. It's a battle for Queensland's future, and there's nothing more important to you or to me. It's a battle we're in to win.